Live at the farm show, Benny Walchuk is with us for Chad Reach, Senior Wealth Advisor. Playoffs. Again, Yorkton, Melville. Let's start there, my man. I might have to make an appearance again. I loved that last year.
Yeah, fate did itself, and it's exciting times. It's already, they're having a send-off tomorrow with the Millionaires and the bus send-off, and the games are almost nearly sold out, which is crazy here, and we're still, even next week's games are almost half sold out already, so it's exciting times once again. Weather's getting a little bit warmer, so it's playoff hockey weather.
Luckily, I know a guy. I just need to get in, and then Bubba's got a box. And Melville. Okay, which one do we want to go to? Estevan Flin-Flon, furthest possible trip in the Bone Shaker. I don't know if Estevan left Tuesday, but they fire it up. First game's Friday night. Does Estevan have a shot here?
You know what? Talking to Rob Hart, the longtime voice of the Flin-Flon Bombers, he says this series go longer than people expect. This is the third time they've met since 2022, and all of those series have went to 7 games. So it's crazy how this works, but it's an Estevan team, of course, led by the top line, led by the MVP and Ewan Rennie, Rylan Williams, Cash Olsen. So does Estevan have to go there and take one from Flin-Flon? Well, eventually they will. One game at least, they'll take up there at the Whitney Forum. But I think this series is going to go longer than people expect. Flin-Flon comes in a little bit banged up a little bit. They're not sure who's going to be back, who's going to be at 100% or even 80% going into it. So I think it's a series for the taking. And I think if the Flin-Flon Bombers take them lightly, especially early on in game number 1, Estevan Bruins can make them pay.
I'm trying to think, has Weyburn played Nipawin recently in the playoffs? That seems to be an interesting matchup that isn't common. I guess we could put it this way. What do you think of that series, Benny?
Yeah, it's a two teams that it's basically a chop off. The only thing I have is experience for Weyburn. Of course, they went to the finals last year and got that finals experience. And this Nipawin team, yes, they've been building the last couple of years and they're a little bit older, but they're a team that doesn't have a lot of playoff experience. So I think it's going to come down to experience. It's going to come down to some great goaltending. Joey Roca, former Chris Swifker and Bronco, Gage Roberts, they're both very good netminders in the SJHL. So I think it's going to come down to goaltending, and it's two places that are very different. The Nipawin cage is a little bit smaller, the corner is a little bit tighter, and then you go to Weyburn, maybe a little bit darker, but a little bit more bigger ice there in Weyburn. So it's going to be very interesting. I think this is a series, once again, could be a homer series as well. Both teams are pretty good at home ice.
We were just talking about Weyburn earlier in the show about the history.
I love that
building.
I love that barn.
All the old pictures. It's wonderful to go in, isn't it, Benny, to look around at the history of the Red Wings.
No, and you look back, like I was looking through YouTube the last couple of days and going back to 2005 when they won the RBC Cup, that was a lunch bucket team. Like they scored with 20 seconds left to win it all. They have that all around the arena, and that's what they're going to have to play, is that lunch bucket style game here against this Nipawin team that's played pretty good offensively here all season long. So it's a Weyburn team. Cody Mapes did a great job there of rebuilding things the last number of years. Of course, made the final last year, and they're trying to take that extra step this year. So it's a team maybe doesn't have any superstars on the team, but up and down that roster, anybody can make you pay.
And then the team that no one wants to play, the Melfort Mustangs, with Battleford holding home ice.
Yes, Melfort. Of course, we talked to them pretty much the entire last second half. I think, like you said, mentioned January 12th, they were 9 points out of a playoff spot, and now they're the 6th seed. So incredible turnaround for them in the second half after probably Trevor Blevins maybe take a little bit of heat, not from his own team, I'm sure, but other people, well, why aren't you trading away your 20-year-olds and rebuilding? Well, they added actually a 20-year-old. They added a 19-year-old with 3 years of experience in the back end, and boy, have they turned things around, getting great goaltending from Kaysen Kabelka, who pretty much maybe a month and a half of play almost put him to second place voting in the Rookie of the Year voting. So it's a team, I wouldn't want to play them right now. They have a lot of championship experience, and Battleford, it's one of those teams that have been Jekyll and Hyde. They've been great at some points this season, and they haven't been very good at some points this season as well. So another season we talked about, it's a theme of this playoffs, I think, is going to be goaltending. Whoever gets the best goaltending in the end is definitely going to be the most successful at the end.
Now the Mustangs, what a good organization. They came within a hair the last 2 years in a row of winning the national championship.
They're aware.
Now they're really going to bottom out after those two great teams they had, and so sad they didn't win it all. And yet, like you said, they came back, looked like they're out of it. They're doing something right in Melfort.
Yeah, Trevor Blevin does a good job of not rebuilding, as we mentioned, just retooling. So they lost some guys, but they go out there, they get a Drew Mushimansky from the BCHL, they get Noel Inglot now from Verdun, and then some guys just took the next steps, and they've added some great talent from Manitoba and Alberta to fill in with their Saskatchewan players. But another thing is, you go along, like you're one goal away from winning 2 national championships. I know I've been a part of a team back in 2014 that we went all the way to the national title. It's a grind. So hopefully, I know they lost a few guys back, but hopefully it doesn't maybe don't run out of gas here, because this is they played from September to almost end of May for 2 straight seasons. So we'll see what kind of stuff's left with their body, but they have some veterans still left in that roster to see what can happen here. And I think if they can sneak their way past this first round over Battleford, who knows? There definitely would be one of the favorites going forward.
Can we quickly, in a couple of minutes here, go through the award winners this year? Those were announced, starting with Ewan Rennie.
Yeah, we talked about Ewan. Ewan got a little bit banged up in January, and I think Estevan lost 7 games in a row. So he just shows what kind of valuable he is to a team. He's not the biggest guy in the world, but very, very skilled. He's a very good playmaker, and he plays with some good line mates in Ryland Williams and Cash Olsen. So one of those guys that last year, I think he had about 40 points, and now he's exploded for almost 80, so almost double his point in total. So just great to see for a guy like that, with undersized in the SJHL, having good success.
And he's got most valuable player and forward of the year. Defenseman of the year. What can you tell us about the Yorkton Terrier there?
Just a throwback guy. Tommy grows up, but he's from a farmer from just outside of Humboldt, and he's a guy that even before they're recruiting him, he's like, they're texting him. He's not going back to him. He's like, no, call me. I don't want to be texted. Call me. I want that. Like, he's one of those old school guys that plays a lot of minutes, and boy, did he have it. Like, they got him in that trade when they sent Clay Sleva to Melfort. They got David Coyle, who was great last year, was a forward of the year finalist, and then Thomas Reese was part of that deal as well. And Thomas has just been great. He plays a lot of minutes. He knows when to rush the puck up. He's one of those guys that if you kind of fall asleep on him, he can like go from his own blue line to the attacking zone of breakaway, and he won't be catched. So it's a guy that's great to see. I know there's some talks about him getting maybe possibly some NCAA looks here, and especially some U Sports school. I think some of the top U Sports schools in the country are after Tommy already at 19 years old. So just a great player, and comes from a great family. One of those throwback guys that you want to see succeed.
And a guy that went through a trade this year, Travis's grandson, Charlie Tripp, winning goaltender of the year.
Yeah, like going in, Humboldt wasn't sure about their goaltending, and then they get Charlie, who spent some time in the BCHL last couple of years, and he had a great start. And of course, with that blockbuster deal, you sent to Flin Flon, and just makes the first save. Like that's all you can ask for with SJHL goaltending. You make a good save when you play a very good team in front of you, like Flin Flon, especially defensively. If you make that good save, you're gonna win a lot of games. So he's been a nice stabilizing force, that Flin Flon unit. But nice to see. He was looking at the voting wise and the results. Like, he was one of the more unanimous votes for his award was Charlie Tripp. He's been the best goaltender, hands down, across the league all year.
A kid that won the national championship with the Regina Pat Canadians last year and could have been playing for them this year again, which would have been scary to think. Cash Lanigan wins Rookie of the Year. Again, a guy that you're familiar with. You see him a lot in Yorkton.
Yeah, Cash is just a very mature guy. Like, he's a guy that doesn't take nights off, doesn't take practices off. Like, I've talked to some guys, like a couple of the older guys, that say, Cash, you got to settle down here. Like, you're going to run yourself over here in practice, but likes to work hard. And he's, like we talked about with Regina Pat C's last year, he probably didn't play the offensive role, didn't have to play that offensive role last year, and now he gets the chance to do that. And there might be a little bit more offense than people think in Cash's game. Goes hard. He doesn't really get run over, especially only being 17 years old. So great to see for Cash, and all the Yorkton Terriers will love to have him around. But I'm sure here after this playoff run, for goal for him is to win an SJHL title. But after this season, who knows where he might be? He might be at the next level in the Western Hockey League next season.
Connor Logan from the Battleford North Stars winning Coach of the Year. And then let's end it with Saskatchewan Player of the Year. I didn't even know this was an award. What a great thing to have for the SJ.
That's cool.
Yeah, exactly. Connor Logan. Connor came in. He's a former player. He helped win a championship about a handful of years ago with Battleford, and he came in and inherited a roster that was pretty good. Like, they returned a lot of guys back, but they went on a big stretch here. They captured the division. I think 7 or 8. They plus their wins from last year. So just a great under the radar for him. I know there's other considerations. Emery Lawson had a great year. Tad Cousins completely turned things around in Nipawin. So there's a lot of consideration for this one. This was a tight race, but yeah, good job for Connor. Then for Boston, I've had a chance to watch Boston for 4 years since he came in as a 17-year-old, just a big stay-at-home defenseman. But that's got better and better each and every year. And I asked Boston even today, I'm like, what made you so successful this year? He's just like, I was just more confident offensively. I was able to carry the puck, and he said the game just slowed down for him so much. So we'll see. I know he's got some talks with the U Sports School, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's playing very, very, very close to home coming up here, this next season in U Sports. So, which would be a great ad there for that franchise. But yeah, great for Boston, great for his family. His mom and dad don't miss a game very often, wherever it may be. So, I know, of course, his sister was a good star with the volleyball program there at the U of R too. So, that's a great family there, and Boston has, he's got a lot of family from the Yorkton area. So I think they are maybe jumping on board wearing blue and white instead of orange and black. So it's going to be very interesting for that Highway 10 battle.
Oof. All right. She gets fired this weekend. Exciting stuff. We could talk senior, but we're up against the clock. We'll have to do that next week. All right. Travel safe. Have some good calls this weekend, Benny.
Thanks. I don't have to travel too far this weekend, which is nice.